Well, the high tide flooded Venice on a fourth day in a row. Now this morning the water started coming in once again from the lagoon into St. Mark's Square and submerged about 30% of this beautiful city. Even though this tide is not as high as the one we saw on Tuesday, there are more tides forecasted for tomorrow and for Saturday, and this frequency of the tides means, according to Venetians, that there is more damage coming into the city due to the sea salt. You can distinguish the tourists from the Venetians these days simply by looking at them, because the tourists are the ones who are happily taking selfies in the water, while the Venetians are the grumpy looking ones who are cleaning up the mess. They are also complaining about the unfinished floodgate system, which has been under construction since 2003, and now they say it won't be operational until at least the end of 2021, because this multi-billion-dollar project was marred from the start by corruption scandals and delays and raising costs.
The city needs to use more and more technology to protect its landmarks, and of course making people more aware of the situation.
But what we're seeing is higher tides than ever and more frequent coming into Venice. This is Claudio Lavanga for NBC News in St. Mark's Square, Venice.
The city is now bracing itself for another weekend of high tides. Matthew in the Cube has been looking at what might have caused the recent flooding and how it will shape Venice's future.
These are the scenes that we have seen in Venice over the last week. Tourists carrying suitcases through the flooded streets. We've had citizens and residents complaining as their businesses are flooded by the high sea levels. It's scenes like this in Venice which have brought the story to the international world's attention. But let's take a zoom out a bit and look at the science behind it. Copernicus, they are the EU's eye in the sky, and they have been showing this video here, a graphic which shows you the extent to which the sea levels around Venice have risen over the last 30 days alone. Approximately 85% of the city of Venice is now underwater, according to Copernicus. Now, there are many reasons behind this, and many people, including the mayor of Venice, have blamed climate change as a reason for this, with many people looking at the increased weather conditions and the severe restrictions that are being placed on the local ecosystem. So for more on this, we spoke to an oceanographer who has lived in Venice for more than 30 years.
We don't have a solution in the long run. If we think about 100 years or something like this, we don't have a solution right now. Because, the Mose is something like 6 billion euro, and it's still not finished. They still have to finish it. The maintenance costs are outrageous, 100 million euros per year. Venice of today will not look like Venice of the future. I'm pretty sure about it.
Well, you heard there as well many people saying that Mose, that's the sea barrier that was built to try and protect Venice from the high tides, that has not been completed since construction began back in 2003. And many people, including the mayor of Venice, saying that action needs to be taken immediately to help protect the city and its residents. Well, the Italian Prime Minister Giuseppe Conte has been very active, not just on social media, but also visiting Venice, here saying that the government is there to help protect and support Venice against future conditions. But if we're looking at the extreme weather conditions that are being warned against by a number of meteorologists in Italy as well as across Europe, there is a serious concern that the adverse weather conditions and the situation in Venice could deteriorate even further.